Hello and welcome to Can I Say Something? What you got to say? Today we have a special guest who is powerful, impactful, and inspirational. And you do not want to miss our special guest on today, which is none other than Dr. Linda Murray. How you doing today, Linda?
I am fantastic. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so blessed to be able to have you as a guest. And before we get started, why don't you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Dr. Linda Murray. I am a native of Louisiana. I have a bachelor's degree, a doctorate degree in health administration. I have over 30 years in healthcare and technology. I'm the founder and the owner of Best to Succeed. The BEST stands for being empowered to succeed in the midst of trials. Wow. I have a new entity that I started, Best to Succeed University, where we offer resources and online courses to our clients. Wow. I am the author of 2 books, Stop Being the Apple That Fell from the Family Tree, and Managing the Inner You and the Community Around You. I am also a contributing author to I Am Speaking, which is Women's Disruptors, women whose voices were silenced. We put together a book to help encourage them to speak out.
Yeah. I remember receiving that book, but I got to get your other books as well. Wow, Linda, you are I know your schedule is very busy with all the things that you are in touch with. And so once again, I'm blessed to have you as a guest on the show. And visitors, do not turn off because Dr. Linda Murray has something to say. But before, Linda, did you give your contact information? What's the contact information? Because the viewers may want to reach out to you.
Okay, so yes, I am on all social media platforms. I do have a website, besttosucceed.com. That's BST, the number 2, succeed.com.
Linda, as I read over your submission form, you wrote that your story, testimony, praise report, or your informative information was based on embrace, empower, and excel. Can you share with myself and the viewers what it is that embrace, empower, and excel really means to you?
All right, thank you so much again. So I'm going to tell you a little story and then lead up to how the topic was chosen. So I was a professor sometime back at a college at night. This was kind of an alternative school where there was a program where we actually had certifications in different programs, and then we would place the students on a job. Okay. And so one night, this is late at night after 10 o'clock, I walked out and there was a student still sitting outside. And I'm thinking, well, what's wrong? Why are you here? Because normally it's just me and the security guard that's there. And she was like, my boyfriend has my car and, he hadn't come to pick me up yet. And I was like, okay, well, get in the car, I can take you home. You're not supposed to take students home, but I had already worked over 45 minutes late and she was still there. So I'm thinking, so what do we do? So at least just get in the car. We're not going to stand here. So she did finally get in the car and we were just sitting here. I said, well, let me take you home. She was like, no, Dr. Murray, no. And I said, what? She says, I need to go to work. I said, well, let me take you to work. And she was like, oh, so I said, no. She was like, no, you can't. You don't know where I work. And I said, it doesn't matter. I'm not here to judge you. 1, it's late. I have to get up in the morning, come back to school. And 2, I can't leave you here. Let's just go. We can figure out the rest. So we got into the car. And of course, she was working at a gentleman's club where she danced at night and she was embarrassed about it. I never made any kind of comments or any responses. I just pulled up, let her out. And I said, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk through this. And so that's what kind of happened. So when she got back to class the next day, we sat down and we talked about it. And I said, I am not here to judge you. I'm here to help you and empower you and help you to move, to the next level. But the first thing I asked her is that, are you satisfied with where you are?
Yeah.
Is this where you want to be? Because I'm not here to judge. If that's what you want to do, it's a job, you're getting paid. So who am I to judge? And so she did want to make changes. And so the first thing is embrace. And that's exactly what she did. She embraced where she was. She accepted the fact that I am here. It's not where I want to be, but I'm here. So the first part of embracement, and embracement has several levels, is want to accept where you are. And once you accept where you are, then you can see things a little bit differently. You can see possibilities once you embrace. But before you embrace, like a lot of people, what they do, they start blaming. Well, it's some excuse. He didn't come, so I'm not going to go to work. So I got fired because of him. Or you looking at other situations, I'm leaving him, or whatever the case may be. Go ahead and embrace the situation. I am in a situation. And if I want to change it, now I can make steps towards changing it. And so that's exactly what we did. We mapped out a plan, and we start seeing the things that she needed so that she could change her current situation. I helped her get on the CHIPS program, helped her with housing, helped her write a resume, made her do extra homework, these kind of things in this embracement. Because here's where you are. You can't change it, right? You can't change what has already occurred, right? You're in a situation. Your boyfriend left you and took the car. You can't really change that, but you can do something about the other thing. And so another thing that I'm saying, she could have just said, no, I'm not going to go. And I'm saying, look at how God divine orchestrated this. Dr. Murray was present to help you, you know, right there on the scene. And so in that, you know, she could have said no, because a lot of times God send the people for you and you won't even get in the car with them. You're waiting for him to come. He's not even capable of coming back and doing what you need to do. Dr. Murray is here to help you, right? And you won't even get in the car. Like a lot of people do that. And so the next phase in this strategy was to empower. And so what did we do? Now, empowerment is two ways. You can empower yourself and you can receive empowerment. Okay, so she did empower herself by sharing, doing the things that I asked her to do, change those things, getting up, saying that she's worthy, you know, those affirmations. She did that, but I also encouraged her. So in encouragement, you learn a lot of things about yourself. You learn that you can turn that impossibility to it's possible, right? You can say, I can do this with support. So I encouraged her and empowered her. And, you know, the class was medical building and coding, right? It's kind of a boring topic. It's at late at night. So what I found myself doing is really not teaching medical building and coding. I was empowering these people to make changes right in the middle of their mess. And that's really how my company was started, being empowered to succeed in the midst of trials, BEST. And so if I could show them how you can make a small change in the middle of your mess, you can't change the mess, but you can make a change in the mess, then I can empower them to listen to my next strategy. I have a few policies when I ask people, you know, I want to mentor people. You must be coachable. You must be approachable. You must be accountable, and you must be proactive. Because now in this empowerment, you do have to make some actions and some steps. You have to get up in the morning and keep doing things. It's not just like you just do nothing. Like people say, well, how do you do? I work all night. I empower myself. I meditate, you know, I pray, I read, I do these things to keep myself motivated and to keep my mind clear and to keep my direction clear about where I want to go. And so once we did that with her, we mapped out the plan, changed things that we could change. And then guess what? I placed her on a job. She was placed. And what I heard later on, once she graduated successfully with honors. Once she graduated, the last thing I heard that she was a manager in a medical's office, in some doctor's office. She became a manager eventually. Now, this was not an overnight thing. The program was like six or 8 weeks or months to go. So it wasn't overnight, but if you can see embracement, the empowerment, and then she excelled, and she kept excelling. A lot of people, when they get to like, okay, now she's placed me on a job, that's it. But no, it's not. You keep growing in that so that now you can keep succeeding. You can keep educating yourself, motivating yourself, and keep climbing to a higher level. So that's kind of my story, you know, and the strategy is simple. It works. It is hard work, but if you apply that strategy to the different areas in your life where you feel like you're defeated, you'll see the results at the end of how things turn out for you. So that's kind of the story.
Yes. You know, it's all about moving forward, having that desire to move forward. And Dr. Mary, a lot of times, you know, it's easy to say that I'm going to pack up and move forward when things are in your favor. But there are times when things are not in a person's favor to move forward. They don't have the strength physically, mentally, they're messed up. They don't even know what moving forward to what. And so it takes people like you, myself, who have been blessed to have the ability to encourage and motivate others to move forward and remind them that they do not have to stay in their situation. And a lot of times, you know, people allow uncomfortable situations to hold them back. Things that happened months ago, years ago, they still allow those things to cause them to be stagnated and it keeps them from moving forward. But one of the things that help us to move forward is knowledge. And when you gave her the knowledge, you know, and you know, it's amazing she kept, even though she was going through, it's amazing she was still coming to school and which is where she needed to be empowered, you know, to be empowered and to excel. And so, you know, you said something that God is an orchestrator. He's a great orchestrator. And, you know, as we look at it as he was the dude didn't pick her up on time, but it was all in God's divine order that he did not pick her up in time. And I don't know why you were still there 45 minutes later after class, but it was in God's divine order that you were there for that person, Absolutely. And so, yeah, so that was truly a blessing. And, you know, and as the viewers are listening in, this should be inspiring to you, viewers, to let you know that you can do anything. There's nothing that you cannot do once you embrace the situation that you're in. And, you know, Linda, I was thinking about when you embrace something, you kind of have to become comfortable.
Absolutely.
You know, comfortable.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I know some of our situations, you say, well, Yolanda, how can I become comfortable when I'm in a bad situation? But the only way that you can come up out of that situation is taking the moment, taking the time, and you talk about not blaming, and embrace where you are right now. I'm in this situation, is not the best situation.
Exactly.
I am embracing that situation. And once you begin to embrace it, that's when you can hear, receive, learn, and possibly see where it is that you're moving forward to.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so true. And that's, you know, that's most of the people when I talk to them, they're not embracing it. It's no one saying change it, right? So we weren't trying to change the fact that she was there or any other situation. It may be that your homeless fired from a job or whatever the case may be. We can't change that. But once you realize, it's kind of a realization that I am without a ride and I need to get to work, or I am without a home and I need a place to stay. So once you kind of embrace it, you accept it. It's not that you're saying it's right, it's wrong, right?
Or I can't do any better. I don't want to do
better.
any better.
Exactly. Neither one. It's simply saying, okay, I'm in this situation and I'm going to accept the fact that I'm here. Now, one thing I do tell my nieces and things, people that I talk to, make sure that your decisions that you make, that you made it. Because once you decide that you made the decision, then you can deal with the consequences, either good or bad, right? Because she decided the consequences, she gave her car and knew she had to get to work. So, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to say, okay, I kind of knew the situation was going to happen. Now, what can I do? You can't really blame people when it's kind of your decision, right? But you can still change it. Like, I'm not saying that, you know, that is like uncommon and it shouldn't happen. I'm saying even if you did, you knew that he probably wouldn't show up. You still have an opportunity to say, you know what, I messed up, but I'm not going to allow this to happen again. And that's what I'm saying about proactive situation, is that I'm not going to let this happen again. Now, you did mention something about education. And so there's an author, George Dotson. He received his college degree at 98 years old. He says life is good. Education is a life is a lifetime of learning. The education should be endless. And you're right. With that education, with her staying in there, she already was determined to change her life. She was just in a situation. She was working, you know, she was paying the bills and doing the things that she needed to do. Maybe it wasn't the career for me, but she had one. But she just needed some support, embracing, empowerment, someone to help her to see how she could move to the next level. And that's all true. So she wasn't satisfied with what she was. She wasn't satisfied even before I took her. Because and the reason why I know is that she was so receptive and she received, she was easy to mentor and coach, and she was ready to make a change. And you have to be ready to make that change as well.
You
as
have
put
to
in
be.
the hard work. It's hard work. People think you just, you know, it just happens. No, it's hard work.
No.
And you have to work hard and to get it.
Yeah, you have to really want it and really want it, because it is hard work. It doesn't come easy. And a lot of people say anything that's worth waiting, how they said about the worth waiting for is worth
anything
waiting
worth
for.
Having is
worth waiting. And so you have to put it, but you know, some people today want things like popcorn. You know, they want everything to come quickly. And I know sometimes you're in a dire situation and, you know, you do want to get out of that situation as soon as possible. But you can't move without a plan. You have to have a plan.
You have to have a plan. And that's basically my first book, Stop Being the Apple That Fell from the Family Tree, is that you do have to have a plan. You recognize that the family, everybody's falling off the tree. Why fall? You don't have to fall, but come up with a plan so that you can exceed the tree. You know, and so you do have to have a plan. And then you have to, in that period of excelling, you do have to continue to educate yourself. A lot of people is like, nah, I'm not going back to school. Okay, well, don't go back, because if this job, you know, ends or anything happens, another COVID or whatever, then what are you going to do? You want to always be proactive and prepared for the next job, the plan B, whatever is going to happen next. You know, and all that comes in that same arena of educating yourself, excelling, being prepared, staying knowledgeable and aware of what's happening, and then guarding what goes in your mind. The mindset is just huge. If you can change your mindset, you can pretty much achieve what you want to achieve, but you have to be willing to change your mindset.
And so therefore we go back to the word empower, because when we, you know, and, you know, we don't have to be in a situation as such, you know, but even myself, I try to be around people, read, hang out, share with people that can empower me. People like you know, and, you know, I always enjoy your company. Oh my goodness, Linda. I enjoyed your company because when I when we got together, I knew it was a time for empowerment. I knew that you were going to, you didn't know it, but you were going, I knew that Linda was going to empower me, encourage me, um, inspire me. And it's almost, I can almost say that it's you that has motivated me to keep going, even with this platform that I have now, because you were the person that I would, dump all my ideas on, and this is what I want to do. And you need someone. Everybody needs someone in their life that is for them, even when they're right or when they're wrong. When they're right, they're there for you. They're encouraging you, and when you're wrong, they're still there, but they're there also to correct you and to show you where you're wrong. And so I appreciate you. I want to let it be known on this platform that I appreciate the relationship that we have. I really, really do. And God put people in your life at the time that they are in your life.
Yes.
God put people in your life at the time in your life. And as we're talking about the young lady, that young man was in her life at the time, and he was in her life. And but sometimes we outgrow the season that we're in with people. Not saying that our relationship have outgrown each other. I'm trying to catch up with you. So, but sometimes our relationship seasons come to an end. And I'm sure that young lady had to probably end that relationship to move forward and become as successful as she did. You sometimes you just have to cut it loose.
Exactly. And it's nothing, and it's no fear in that. It's nothing wrong with that. I think you have to realize, the things that are holding you back or hindering you. And I honestly don't even know, the story about what happened with the relationship, because at the time I wasn't there to judge. Like, I wasn't there to judge her about whatever the case may be. We don't even know, like, I don't even know what happened. I mean, I didn't hear of him anymore. However, maybe he moved on, himself or whatever, and maybe she had something to do with it. But the whole goal here is to accept where you are and be willing to do something about it if you want to change it. And you're right, to build that strong community around you. You need people pouring into you as much as you're pouring into others. And so I encourage everyone listening to connect with a positive group. And even if you don't necessarily connect with people, the internet, oh my God, it's so many motivational people and books on tape or audio books that you can listen to, videos consistently. I listen pretty much, just let it play consistently through my house all day, because I need to make sure that I am feeding myself. Like, I pour out so much, then how am I getting fed? I'm depleted, so who's filling me up? So a lot of times it's the internet. And so you do want to surround yourself. There is not a day that goes by that I don't listen to something. I don't read something positive or reach out to someone like you to say, hey, how's it going? And then just hoping that I'm empowering you, but you can empower and encourage me, because it goes both ways.
It goes both ways.
Absolutely. So it's definitely helpful, and it's beneficial, and it's something that's totally necessary. For success.
Yeah. So as we come to get close to a close here, I just want to encourage our viewers today that somebody is probably sitting in a dark room right now, being still, not moving. And you're not moving because you don't even know where to move to or what direction to go in or how you're going to get to the next step. But This one thing I want to encourage you this evening is first, like Linda said, embrace your situation. And once you embrace your situation, it it can cause there is a word embracement and or embrace yourself. And sometimes physically, we have to embrace ourselves for what's getting ready to happen. And so I want to encourage you to embrace yourself for the next move that's getting ready to happen. And before we leave, I just have to say, if you don't know where to go, where to turn, there's one place I do know you can turn to and move forward and that is in God. That
Yes.
is in
Amen.
God. You
Mhm.
know, you're depressed, things are not going the right
Mhm.
way, your relationship is up, your relationship is down, your children situation, finance situation. There are
Mhm.
so many situations, oh, Linda, that could just kind of take us out of here. But
Absolutely.
despite of every situation that we are in, we must find a way to move forward. And one of the ways, the best way to move forward is to put our trust in God
Amen.
and to look to Him, to look
Mhm.
to Him. The word tells us to look to the hills from which cometh our help. Well,
Yes.
look to Him. And
Mhm.
don't be afraid to talk to Him. You know, I talk to God just like I'm sitting here talking to you. I just tell Him, look, this
Amen.
is happening and this is happening. Then I turn around and I'm like challenging Him. What you gonna do about that? I'll hold my peace, but I can only hold it for so long, Lord. Now, when are you gonna change this situation? And so I
Exactly.
just want to encourage you to to share with Him, to trust in Him and trust in Him and share with Him to let Him know I'm embracing the situation that I'm in, but I'm not pleased with it. And I know, God, that you're not pleased with it. And I know that I can do better with you. It's all about wanting to do better, Linda. It's
Mhm.
all
It
about
is.
wanting to do
Absolutely.
better. Yeah.
Absolutely. And no excuses and don't blame. Just, that's the hard part is that most of us don't make changes because we're still blaming someone 30 years ago. We're still blaming dad. He didn't pick us up and we're on the step. We have to at some point embrace the fact that he is not coming back. He's
Yeah.
not coming to get us, and
Yeah.
only God can hope to rescue us. So
Yes.
that was a
Yes.
great point that only God can come back and get us. This happened 25 years ago. It's impossible for dad to come back. So it's only going to be through God that you're going to be able to embrace where you are because you're hurt. And
Yeah.
we know that it's painful, right? So
Yeah.
embrace it and ask God to help you in accepting where you are.
Yeah. Embrace it and move forward and change your surroundings, change your company. Because if you're not with company that's going to or that is empowering you,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't need to be there. You really don't even need to answer the phone. And that's even in our relationship.
Yep.
That young lady was in a relationship where she was not being empowered. And so sometimes we have to cut people loose
Mm-hmm.
because we want to move forward, we want to do
Right.
better. And so we need to be empowered. And once we become empowered, wow, there's nothing that can keep us from
Mm-hmm.
excelling. Nothing that can keep us from excelling. So embrace, empower, and excel with Dr. Linda Mary. Again, Linda, thank you so much for answering the call to be on. Can I say something? What you got to say?